Hi, my name is Bruce from Queensland, Australia. My wife was diagnosed in 2010 with DCIS invasive cancer, and she ended up having a modified mastectomy. In this first part, I'm going to be talking about the diagnosis phase. The issues that we experienced, as firstly, it was feeling really overwhelmed by the news that she'd been diagnosed with cancer. The second issue was I felt like I had no knowledge or experience or what was going to happen. And this third issue was, what does this really mean, and what's going to happen, and what's the next 12 months going to be like? So what did we do well during that whole experience of diagnosis? Right from the phone call, I felt like, okay, our world is changing for the next 12 months, and trying to have a mindset of, okay, we can get through this, and more importantly, being able to communicate that to Gillian that we will get through it. One of the things I think most guys are going to feel is my wife going to die? And the answer to that is no, she's not. Because lots of people have got through this, and I think that's the big thing, that once you understand, no, she's not going to die right now, and that we just need to get on and deal with each phase of this, that I found that certainly very helpful. The second thing I felt that we did really well was I had to adopt a we approach to this whole thing. And what that means is it wasn't Gillian that had the cancer, it was we had the cancer. And how I expressed that to her was like, we'll get through this. And waking up in the morning and saying things like, it's going to be okay, and being positive. The last thing you can do during this process for your wife is to fall apart. And while you might go and fall apart by yourself, you can't do that. You need to be what I call the rock during this whole process. Third aspect of lessons learned, which I think is really important, is you need to go to every medical appointment that your wife has. You need to find out what's going on. And certainly once I sort of stepped into that role of being the support person, making sure that I was there for every appointment, it certainly helped her feel that she wasn't on her own. The other thing that's going to happen at the doctor's is there's going to be a whole lot of new information, and she might not take it in and you might not take it in, but between you, when you get out of that appointment, you'll be able to make head and tail out of that and not be totally confused. I can't imagine having to go to one of those medical appointments by yourself and feeling overwhelmed with what's going on. Other things that I thought that we did well together was we realised that we need to focus on one step at a time, and letting this whole thing get ahead of you, or you get ahead of what's actually going on, is probably not the way to go. So we made a pact that we would say, let's just stick to what we know and let's just do each step, and don't play what if. So just deal with what's going on at each point of this whole journey. The next thing is about, who do I tell? And what we decided to do was, let's just tell the people that need to know. And for us, that was immediate family, and only friends that we were going to come across or that we were working with that needed to know, that would be impacted by what was going on. What we found was having to tell other people is really tiring and really draining. And at this point, you need all your energy, and you don't need to be reliving the sort of grief and the shock that you're having at this point. So our big tip at this point is just tell the people that are in your immediate need to know group. Finally, during this phase of diagnosis, probably our one of the better things that we could pass on was you need to do some nice things. You need to not dwell on, oh, what's going to happen and freeze your life. It's like, go and do some nice things. Go for a surf, go for a walk, go to dinner. Do some nice things to take the edge off what you're going through, and also take your mind off what's actually happening as well. So in summary, I guess, what did we learn? What lessons did we learn that we could pass on? Is be the rock, don't fall apart. Focus on one step at a time. Make sure you go to every medical appointment so you know what's going on and you can support your wife through this process. Tell your need to know group only, and sort of keep your communication restricted at this point until you know exactly what the long-term treatment's going to be, and do some nice things that ease the tension of this whole scenario or the whole phase that you're in right now. Hope that helps.